Welcome to Workout from Home number 98 here at the Four Bells and in your home too. Today we have a glorious upper body day which is focused specifically on upper body pulling, a little bit of upper body pushing, and then a whole ton of abdominal work today. So we are going to start off with a little warm up to get us ready for that. We've got these three things to look at. We're going to start off with some shoulder dislocates. We're going to do 10 reps. From there we're going to do some shoulder taps, 10 slow and 10 fast, hence the 10 plus 10. And then from there we're going to do some work for the rotator cuff as well as the obliques and the side of the body. We're going to do some side plank rotations for 5 on one arm and 5 on the other. We're going to do these three things 3 times in the warm up today. Let's see what they look like. We start our warm up with a shoulder dislocate today. So you can use a band or a PVC pipe or your belt or anything you have that you can basically get your arms out and hold on to and keep it pretty straight. From here, when we start off with our shoulder dislocate, as always, the first round should be pretty nice, which means hands near the end of the band or near the end of my PVC pipe. I come over, touching the low back or the bum, and just moving nice and smoothly, making sure that we're not trying to do anything weird with the elbows or with the wrists. So of course, as we go through the rounds today, when we're doing our 10 reps, trying to bring the hands a little bit closer and closer and closer together to try and test the tissues around the shoulder and the pecs and the back. So once I've done 10 shoulder dislocates, from there we get into 10 shoulder taps. It'll be 10 slow, 10 fast. Once we've done our 10, well, I'm supposed to start with our 10 slow, I want to push one hand into the floor, hand on the shoulder for a full second, minimal shifting through the hips. And once I've done 10 slow, what I'm going to do is 10 fast. That should be how we approach our 10 slow and 10 fast. And then last but not least, a little side plank action. We are going to have our elbow directly below the shoulder. From here, we're going to push those hips up. I'm then going to look at my fingers. I come through the armpit, rotate up to the ceiling, looking at the fingers the whole time. We're going to do 5 per side. Those 3 things 3 times in the warm-up today. In today's strength piece, we have 5 sets. Each set is 3 minutes long, split into 2 90-second windows of time. So in my first 90 seconds today, we're going to work on some kind of pull. Ideally, it is going to be a horizontal pull, not a vertical pull today. So when we're doing our horizontal pull, ideally today we would like to be doing it on either rings or a TRX. But of course, if you don't have those things available to you, then you can use a barbell or dumbbells or kettlebells or mix and match weights however you want to. The intention with our horizontal pulling today is that we are going to do 10 reps, and we'll be doing those at a 3-0-X-1 tempo, which is a very fancy way of saying we're going to pull ourselves up explosively, pause at the top of the movement for a second, and then take 3 seconds to either lower ourselves down or lower the weight down. So we'll talk about how that will look in just a second. From there, we're going to get into our second 90-second piece, half of which, 45 seconds, will be taken up with a hollow body hold today. So with the hollow body hold, what we're looking at is one of 4 levels that we practice here at the Four Bells. So number 1 being the easiest, we'll work up to number 4. But the idea is for you is to pick the one that you can hold for 45 seconds straight. We're going to do these 2 things 5 times in the strength piece. Let's take a look at both of them. With our ring or TRX rows today, or even our bent over rows, we are doing 10 reps at a 3-0-X-1 tempo, which means if I was doing a ring row, for example, I would set myself up in my nice tight plank position, so legs tight, bum tight, abs tight. In my plank position, all I'm going to do is drive my elbows back, so that's the X part. 1 second pause, and then 3, 2, 1 on the way down. Explode up, pause, 3, 2, 1 on the way down. So of course, with the rings or TRXs, we want to make it harder. We're just trying to make our feet get closer to the pivot point. So that might mean that if you're here in like a gym situation with a chin-up bar, you might want to try and get your feet past the chin-up bar. But if you're doing it at home where you're anchored to the door, we might want to be thinking about lengthening the straps a little bit as we go. Of course, if you are using rings and you're not quite sure, like, how do I judge how far I am? Use a small plate or some kind of indicator of where your feet are on the floor, and then you can play around with it. Of course, if you want to do a bent over row, that could be done with a barbell or 2 dumbbells or 2 kettlebells. Same rules apply. Obviously, we'd be in a hinge position. We would explode up, pause for a second, and then it would be 3, 2, 1 on the way down. So same tempo, same principles. When it comes to the hollow body hold today, that we're going to practice, we've got 4 levels here at the gym. So, what we want to think about, of course, having a nice mat underneath our backs, and we start with level 1. So level 1 is essentially trying to get myself used to hollow body bracing. So that means I'm looking to push my low back down into the floor and brace my abs. If someone's going to drop a medicine ball onto my tummy, that's the first step. From here, I bring the knees up to the ceiling and I reach the hands forwards. This is level 1. Level 2 is going to be just one leg straight, still pressing the low back down. Level 2.5 is the other leg. Level 3 is both legs out, still pressing the low back down. And level 4 is both arms overhead, holding this position. So if at any point during the hollow hold you find yourself arching, ribcage flaring up, and you can fit your hand underneath your back, this is no bueno. We do not want that for you. So when we're doing our rows today, we're doing 10 reps. 3 of X1, there we go. Trying to get heavier or get yourself closer to your pivot point as you go. And with your hollow body hold, whether it's level 1, 2, 3, or 4, is trying to find the one that you can hold for 45 seconds. In today's conditioning piece, we have an upper body abdominal extravaganza. We are doing 8 rounds today, where each round is 1 minute and 30 seconds long. You can see they are split into 3 30-second chunks. We start off each round with 30 seconds of either push-ups or plank-ups today. So pick the one that you feel like you want to play with most today. Or, if you're feeling very dangerous, you can flip and flop back and forth between the 2 at will. The choice is yours. What I would say though is when it comes to particularly push-ups is trying to find a scaling option where you can move consistently throughout the 30 seconds. You don't want it to be so hard that you're doing 1 or 2 reps and then just standing staring at the floor for the next 20 seconds. So make sure that if you have to elevate yourself up off the floor a little bit, that is fine. We're trying to move consistently throughout the 30 seconds. We then next come into hollow body bicycles, which is a nice little bicycle ab where we are moving contralaterally or transversely, bringing elbow to knee diagonally, and still working on that hollow body position that we have had from the strength piece today. And then last but not least, 30 seconds of rest. Yay! It's everyone's favorite part of a conditioning piece. So we're going to do these 3 things 8 times in the conditioning piece today. Let's take a quick look at it. With our push-ups, of course, we want to have our hands just around shoulder width. We want to keep the elbows nice and close to the body. And whatever we're choosing in today's conditioning piece, we should be able to ideally perform reps consistently for 30 seconds. It's not necessarily about thinking, I need to do as many reps as possible in 30 seconds, because we have 8 rounds today. So that means try and keep it moving, but don't go bananas straight out the gates. From there, if I want to do a plank up, with the plank up, what I should be thinking about is maybe have a little mat underneath me, so things are a little bit softer on the elbow. I'm going to set up my feet a little bit wider, because I know I'm going to be on one arm at one point. I bring the elbow down, hand and hand. If I can, switch direction. Elbow, elbow, hand, hand, minimizing hip wiggle as much as possible. Once we've done our 30 seconds of push-ups or plank-ups, we are then going to get into a hollow body bicycle ab situation, which means, very similar to what we did in the strength piece, I'm going to set up my hollow body position. I'm going to have my hands behind my head, and I'm going to bring one knee up to the chest, extend the other leg off the floor, and I'm going to bring my right elbow as close to my left knee as possible, and then going from side to side, nice and slow and smooth, for 30 seconds today. And that's it. 8 rounds, 30 seconds of either push-ups or plank-ups, and you can flip-flop back and forth between the 2. 30 seconds of a hollow body bicycle, and then a 30-second rest. We are doing that for 8 times today. Have yourself a fun workout, and let us know how you get on.